Hey everyone, my thumbnail picture preview kind of looks silly, but I wanted to say, well, first and foremost, good morning or good afternoon. It's almost 2 p.m. I have some notes that I wanted to share with you guys today. What I've seen a lot on Facebook, I've even been part of it myself with some conversations with everything going on with protesting, some rioting. Some leadership gaffes, we could say. Um, I've seen a lot of pointing fingers as far as parties, Democratic Party, Republican Party, whatever it may be. We have an election coming up in a couple of months. And then I've seen some people who have, one of the questions that have been brought up was that. So I have so much information in my head. One of the questions that was brought up was, are people making decisions right now to affect how they look in the eyes of others? Are there hidden motives, or are they making decisions because of truly what they feel in their heart? And that doesn't even go for politicians. That goes for everybody. I have to catch myself a lot of the times. Am I posting videos just to see how many people respond to them in a positive way? Am I posting anything on Facebook or on my live feed in order to get attention for myself, or am I doing it because it's the right thing to do? And to be honest with you, I think there's a mixture of that. There's a mixture of my spirit, which wants to promote and share the information that I've come across that I think can help people to benefit the way that we think and to change the way that we act with one another. But at the same time, there is the ego within me wants the recognition for, look at the video that he posted, or he's well spoken, or he has a lot of information that he's sharing and he seems, well put together. And just understand that I'm working through that for myself, but I want to give you guys a heads up that is going on within myself as well, and I need to address it so that way you understand a little bit of the that not everything is always perfect, with what we hear, what we say, and that's just not. If it can happen for me, it could probably happen for you, and it probably happens for a lot of politicians as well, because they're just people as well. That being said, I looked up Democrats and Republicans because I'm not well versed on, just kind of where they stand, so to speak, or why what party is what party. So I'm going to leave the link down below for the website that I got this information from. But primarily, it talks about just economic issues like taxation. Talk about social issues like is it community responsibility or individual rights, military spending, gay marriage, healthcare, and immigration. And those are just some of the ideas that or issues that they posted that will typically you'll sit on one side or the other and how you feel about them. What I wanted to talk about is that we don't fit in any of those boxes, and to continue to try to place myself or any of the people in our lives in one of those boxes saying I'm strictly Republican or I'm strictly Democrat, it keeps us divided because a lot of the times, we're not going to always agree wholeheartedly on one side or the other. That there, if we can find commonality with what we believe in, I think that's where we can make some progress. That it's not about, is this the Democrats' fault or is this the Republicans' fault? This is a humanitarian issue. This stems locally within ourselves, in our communities, within our states and our countries, and then it stems globally as well. That there's many injustices that go on that just doesn't have to do with a specific race or a specific party or a specific line of thought or ideology or ideology. I'm not sure. It's just what is right in our hearts for each other, and the easiest way is to think about if you have children or if you know children in your life that you care about, that what would you want for them, and why would you want anything less for anyone else's child? And so that might be a little bit easier for you to or at least it's been a lot easier for me to understand or to empathize with something that I don't truly understand because of a lack of communication. So I wrote down my values. Not so much, regardless of a Democrat or Republican, what person are we voting into office that are going to shape decisions that we're going to live by? What kind of person are they? What do they stand for? And so I started thinking about, okay, let's get rid of the labels. What do I stand for? I want to care about how I treat myself and other people, including immediate and extended family, friends, neighbors, relatives, whatever it may be, coworkers. I care about how I treat others and myself. Understanding through communication. There's a lot of things I don't understand because if you don't communicate it, if you don't, talk peacefully about it, how are we supposed to know? How are we supposed to know if, um, like I got into some conversations on Facebook. I don't know where people are coming from, so it's not up to me to say whether I'm right or wrong, or whether they're right or wrong. It's up to me to engage them in a peaceful conversation, just get to know where they're coming from because I don't know their background, I don't know what they believe in, and as to why, and they don't know that either from me if I don't communicate that with them. And then I'm really for inclusion or diversity in all areas of life. I've been fortunate enough to be working in an inclusive work environment, as well as growing up with a lot of different ethnic groups as friends. I was fortunate enough to go to a school in a city that that's very diverse in culture, and as well as just belief systems. And so that goes to a point that we were watching Jimmy Fallon last night, and he had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on as a guest. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he was asked what would be one piece of advice that he would give to people, and he said, "Go make a friend that's not like you." He said that he has seen too many people that don't have friendships outside of their comfort zone or outside of what they know, and they haven't been willing to go make friends that aren't people that are like them. And so that really limits your perspective on things. Again, when you can't totally, when we cannot totally understand what we're going through personally, like, if I have a hard time understanding why a coworker is feeling the way they feel or why they believe what they believe, if I don't have diversity in my life, I don't have that different perspective. Everything is kind of narrow focused for me into a belief system that is structured based on who I'm interacting with, who I grew up with. And so I really advocate diversity. I also advocate admitting mistakes. And I had submission of the ego. I don't know if that's the exact same thing because the ego can expand to so many more things than just admitting mistakes. But really, when we do something that's wrong, a good example is Jimmy Fallon did a sketch for Saturday Night Live called Blackface. Same with Robert Downey Jr. In Tropic Thunder, and Jimmy Fallon came out and apologized, and he felt bad. And in that time, maybe it was for a reason of comedy, but it doesn't look well right now. It doesn't sit well, and the point is, he may still believe he didn't have any ill intention about it because I've done plenty of things that I don't have any ill intention, but it affects people in ways that we don't truly understand because we haven't had that communication. And if we haven't had that diversity of someone speaking up saying, "Hey man, this is what you did." And it might've been funny to you, but it's not funny because this is, the type of energy that it puts out there. Then you don't really, for myself, I didn't really understand, that what I could have done or what I am doing could be harmful to somebody, and then I want peace of mind. I want to be able to go outside and feel safe. And I do actually for myself, I feel very safe. But again, not just because I don't feel threatened doesn't mean that other people don't feel threatened. I want a livable wage for everybody. When you have peace of mind, you can put your focus on other people and help other people and help, better themselves. Shoot, I'm getting my words mixed up. You can help other people and take the focus off of you when you have all your ducks in a row, when you have changed yourself, when you have changed the way you think, when you have changed your internal being, so to speak. You're able to more wholly focus on other people. You're able to affect other people in a more positive way because you are living through a lot of peace of mind. We should have universal health care, in my opinion. People when they get sick should be taken care of. Loved ones when they shouldn't have to break the bank and go bankrupt and lose their job when their child gets cancer. And for all of us, we could, very easily say, well, they should have to pay for health care and it's not up to the government to provide universal health care. And it's like, okay, but that's because you haven't been affected. And I say I'm in the same boat. We haven't been affected the same way. If one of our kids or grandchildren or neighbors or relatives that we really care about got sick, as I know from a lady that I personally met when I worked at Grease Monkey, her daughter had cancer. And she came in and she was struggling financially because both her and her husband can't work because they got to be with their daughter full time because they want to be. Why wouldn't you want to be with your child full time when they're going through something like that? So they lose their jobs. They don't have any money and they have to pay tens of thousands of dollars out of pocket, to have these procedures done. And so, we did what we could while we're there, but that was an eye opener for me that, luckily we've been blessed to have our health, but imagine if your kid had gotten sick, so it's really easy to take a stance on certain issues when you haven't been affected by those issues. And so I would just highly encourage everyone, um, to just decide what kind of leader do you want, not as far as does it fit into a label and what you believe based on just your history of what you voted for. What type of person do you want? And the last but not least, I just want to mention a leader at my work sent me a video by Eric Thomas called 381 Days. And it was about the boycotts that happened for the busing system, when the African American community had gotten together. And it wasn't just African Americans, but primarily African Americans decided to boycott taking the bus. And he talked about being in a commitment. That it's easy right now for us to get motivated. It's easy for me to be motivated and find all these statistics, post videos, post, have conversations. But after a couple of weeks, where does it go? Are we going to make a commitment moving forward, to stick up for this and to stick for what's right, and maybe not just take what's convenient for us in the easy road right now when it's popular to do it, but are we going to be like Colin Kaepernick taking a knee? And that has nothing to do with the military, the flag, or anything. It was to bring awareness to an issue that's now becoming more of a national awareness, and that was hard for him. He hasn't been employed by the NFL. He's lost millions of dollars because of that. And so it's easy for us right now to just, stand up, and because it is popular. It's popular to go out there and protest. But we've seen protests before. We've seen demonstrations before. What are we going to do moving forward? Are we going to make that commitment? And I'm going to start researching into companies that align with my values. It doesn't mean my values are going to be the same as your values. It doesn't mean that me and my friends and my father figures and mother figures in my life and my own mother, it doesn't mean that we're going to always see eye to eye and we're going to believe the same things. But at the same time, I know they love me and I love them. And I know at the end of the day, regardless of our beliefs and viewpoints, I'm going to treat them with as much respect as I need to treat them with, and continue to try to improve that, because we're one and the same and we're in this together. And so I encourage everybody right now, to continue to stand up for what's right, even when it's not the popular thing to do, because this will wear off a little bit. But we need to continue to bring awareness to the issues and continue to stay committed to what we say we want, instead of just doing it because it's convenient for us right now. So anyways, I love you guys. I'll post all the information, the links down below. That way, if you want to gain more information, if you want to engage in a discussion, if you want my personal phone number and engage in a discussion, I don't know if you want to or not. I get pretty bad reception at my house, but I love you guys. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. See ya. I always got to press the button to end the stream. There we go.